Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, riveting, and amazing, spectacular Propagandacast from your host, Imperial Dane, the one, the only master of propaganda, hero of sight, defender of the fatherland. Off here to glorious 1v1 on Langraskaya in the north, it is Barbarossa, fighting for the Soviet Union, Comrade Stalin. Here with counterattack tactics with K1 shock troopers, K1 heavy tanks, specifically shock troopers, reconnaissance flights from Mother Russia, and B4 howitzers with double-man and info guards bulletins, or elite troop bulletins effectively, versus south it is Sakura fighting for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland. Here with elite troops, Spearhead and Lightning War with infantry, machine gun and armoured car bulletins, forming up the Großdeutschland Panzergrenadier versus Barbarossa's 1st Mechanized Corps. And as always, a big hearty thanks to my patrons and supporters, these champions, these heroes of the Propagandacast keep me supported on a monthly basis. You too can join the ranks. And also big thanks to Vasco for supporting me via PayPal and donating his hard-earned money to the war effort. Big thanks to you, Vasco. You're part of my company heroes amongst my patron supporters. You too can, of course, join the example, either pledge on Patreon or donate. A link in the description. You can also just comment, like, share, subscribe, press the bell button as well. Anyways, we're off to the races here. Triple comes to that for Barbarossa, gun 74-2 for Sakura. Also, technically, you know, if things hadn't gone wrong and I could be casting an episode from the new patch, just, you know, turns out there's a massive memory leak, so they had to roll it back. So who knows when we're going to be looking at that commander update, because it may take some time to find out what's causing that leak. Was fun though, trying it out until, you know, the memory leak hit it. Anyways, coming about here for Barbarossa, putting aggressive pressure with Sakura's pushing eastwards there, leaving a small token force for the western side. Might be home to disrupt their opponent's resources more, but of course need to be careful not to get outmaneuvered by the conscripts, as that could get very uncomfortable here for Sakura's machine crew and other forces very rapidly. There you go, concentrated, already laying down heavy cover there, contemplating the Grenadiers, going to deal with that. Also got the engagement on the flanks, so far steady stuff here. Nice aggressive sandbagging here from Barbarossa, thumbs up, and even then grabbing the point is just, he's got his feet on it for Sergei and Boris. Very nice there. Extra efficient sandbagging here. Also just a really good spot there to lay down in. Definitely not something I typically see though from certain players, so guessing Barbarossa thought about this one a bit or just decided to try it out. Either way, they're good position. 4th conscript on the way there, MG42 being flanked so hard, now he has to pull it back in the position. He's managing to deal with the conscripts. Could see a wipe here action now. Could turn the tables on Barbarossa. Very good chance. In fact, they're going before it's going to turn to them. And there we go. Wipe. Turn the tables. Barbarossa explosively, leaving his entire 6-man squad of conscripts dead in the dirt. In the west here, Pioneers is come to the Pioneers themselves. Could risk getting wiped out here if Sakura is not swiftly retreating them down to 1 man. It is just Ludwig against 3 guys. And they're going to push back. Just a conscript there, more or less full health, because again the heavy cover provides a strong bonus there. Grenadiers setting out. We'll of course have to see what Sakura does. One option, to be honest, is just to pull back and move the forces elsewhere instead of attacking into this. I mean, typically German doctrine would favour, you know, not attacking into where the opponents were most well dug in, but looking like where they aren't, and then trying to outmaneuver them. And so far, Sakura with this is kind of doing the opposite. I mean, obviously, again, they were able to like bait a control into so they got a wipe, so it's obviously not entirely useless, but I think long term, Sakura probably wants to like try and move around this, and of course also get the fuel back. Basil agrees. Take there, slowly done there for Sakura. Basil suggesting here either the elite troops or lightning warp for some fast G43 upgrades here. Which, by the way, with the upcoming command update, when again they fix it, will provide a received accuracy bonus. They become harder to kill, and they get grenades of the throwable kind rather than the rifle kind. Yes, Basil. West side, he goes from Fort, got a flame for swarming for Barbarossa. Continue to deny, he'll at least make it harder for Sakura to secure any fuel. Yes, Basil, no stooge yet. You're a very smart and observant cat. Goodness, machine gun and Pioneers bring ahead here. Bold move going for a flamethrower there for Sakura, and having not seen like airdrops, so there's a good chance here that Barbarossa could just begin chucking out a lot of mines here versus Sakura. Bit risky there, to be honest, since they could really throw things off. All to go on that fuel pod fast, and almost getting another wipe here. I mean, 2 conscripts this early on would be huge for the Germans, but sadly not quite that lucky. Bunker up there, of course, getting some medics. Need to push in that fuel point as fast as possible. Machine calling to the building here could also be an idea there for Sakura and for the Großdeutschland Panzergrenadier Division. Conscript holding up here. Also on the west side, the engineers are hard at work with a flamethrower. Veterans 1-2 kills. bunker there. Halfway down, medics on the way there, providing critical medical assistance to depleted German grenadiers. Sandbags here, but Eastern fuel pump, very good. Barbarossa lining up for a big push. Might be trying to go for a deeper flank here to avoid any sort of, like, shall I say, main machine gun positions here from Sakura. Also, in case these pop the machine in the building here, of course, taking a deeper path here should also minimize the effect of that. And he's been westwards as well here. Sakura splitting up their force into two, of course, so is Barbarossa. We should, of course, see how this works out there. Got him in the machine gun. You see there, Sakura's now responding to this, realizing he might have placed the machine in a slightly awkward spot, popping into the building, but that could also have its own issues. Grenadiers going to assist the Punish for the eastern point. West side here, Grenadiers pushing back the conscript units to go for that fuel point swiftly. Schnell, meine Herren. Yes, Basil. Panzer would be a good idea there for Sakura and the Germans. But so would a doctrine and maybe some G43s. Could also go for the troops that can conveniently call in the stormtroopers, which add a bit of punch there versus Barbarossa's troops on a faster level here in terms of timings. And grenade upgrade there for Barbarossa. No tech yet. That's great there for Sakura, though Sakura's not really doing much with advantage either. Got the grenades ready, meaning Molotovs and of course anti-tank grenades. Grenadiers falling back. Grab the eastern point here. Yes, Basil, I have thanked the fellow that donated. Yes. Thank you for trying to remind me, though. Like to make a nice company up here for Sakura. No additional infantry, no again stormtroopers, no doctrine either. Guessing we're seeing light machine guns, which is also fine, fine. Nothing wrong in that at all. But certainly G33s, but besides having a bit more close to mid-range firepower, and theoretically also the interrogation ability to be used, but also just like, there's more munitions than spare on other things because you can just more quickly upgrade all the grenadiers with the G43s then. But anyways, that's that. Conscript pursuing the machine gun there, engaging the engineers in the centre. Armoured car, the slowly arriving here for Sakura and the German army. Puny in here engaging the conscripts. By the way, they got MD43, they're getting mauled as well there. In fact, it's getting Molotoved and mauled. There you go, machine gun wiped. Western Fury claimed of the conscripts, got the grenadiers retreating, well, the grenadier, the rest are dead, so not much for a plural on that one. Armored car, the ready here, the like to punch spear bargain. Back in Barbarossa's base, still no tech. Could, of course, at this stage consider a shock to a squad. Sakura, of course, considering the timing here, is going for the Pack 40. Since typically a serve player, then, in particular one that's actually ahead like Barbarossa's, will typically around the 7-minute mark have a T-70 ready. So, I mean, Sakura in this regard is certainly not, going for what is most plausible and preparing for it, which, makes sense. I mean, why wouldn't the serve player be going for T-70 as fast as possible? Some, solid, approach there. If you can consider, like, the typical serve player and what the typical serve player does, and the fact that, as a Wehrmacht player, you really don't want to be blindsided by a T-70. So most Wehrmacht players, of course, will not take that chance. That said, bit risk getting the machine gun here, pushing, I think, a bit further than necessary once more, but this time, though, getting the machine gun out in time. Conscript push back here. Obviously, Barbarossa's not going to risk another conscript squad wipe here against Sakura either. Grab the eastern point. Tank which in command. Engineers for Barbarossa. Car they're knowing about. Eastern point again, getting the conscripts there. West side, they got fuel point claim once more. But I mean, so far, Barbarossa had a really great fuel play there against Sakura, who's definitely struggling to control it. And also, I think, struggling to, I would say, play to the advantages against the Soviet player, which is also what you want to be careful about as the Wehrmacht. You definitely don't want to try and play to your advantages, which typically leveraging your firepower very smart. You're not looking to do as the Wehrmacht long protected engagement. You're usually looking at to win them swiftly and then move on. More like, should say, long engagement factors where typically the serve player is advantaged. Constantine craft in the armored car. Western fuel secured once more. Still no doctrine though for Sakura. Keine Doctrine. He's saying to the conscripts, armored car, of course, joining in there with its autocannon and its pinback machine gun. Going running to a large hurt forces once more. Barbarossa, of course, knows where it hurts, and the fuel point is where it really hurts. So, thumbs up there One thing that is worth noticing is we're not actually seeing any mines from Barbarossa. A bit of an oversight, to be honest. Also, mines was up there, very good. Obviously anticipating mines from Sakura. Sehr good. Another machine gun for Sakura. Definitely not a bad idea against all this infantry that Barbarossa keeps unloading into Sakura's front line. Very good. And there we go, we do get the season of Barbarossa, but 10 men, a bit on the later side. Still, they are ahead, so it's not like they're a huge risk. But again, arguably, they could have this up minutes earlier, where I think it would have been certainly a bit more effective versus Sakura and the Germans. Almost getting another wipe here in the conflict once more, though. Looks like fortune does favour Barbarossa and the Red Army, but certainly a really close one there. A very close one. Still no response to the fuel harassment from Sakura. Definitely like that's been a mystery. Just rushing in the armoured cars as soon as possible here. Just dealt with the engineers, since the engineers can't really defend well against the armoured car. Find some mines here from Barbarossa. There we go. T-70 out. Back at base. Nothing on there again. You can create by the armoured car. We got a control coming up there. Troops supporting are a bit removed. And Barbarossa, while he has gone for counterattack, has so far really yet to utilize the doctrine. We haven't seen any shock troopers, for example, at all. He needs to push back the control, and he said, and before dealing with the control there as well. So, I mean, two heavy machine gun teams definitely provide some strong field control here for Sakura. That said, the T-7 course provides a significant headache. That said, there's a good chance of getting wiped in the control here with a bit of disarmament. Oh, they're not focusing on getting the wipe here. They should focus on the T-7 seeing the armoured car, missing out the opportunity to get the control because the armoured car is not going to be salvageable anyways. I feel like this is a missed opportunity here by Sakura, missed opportunity to take out the control there, and likely we're still taking out the T-70 afterwards anyway, so... I mean, if they did get the T-70, great, but I think if they fail to get out rid of the T-70 as well, that's going to be a huge blow here to Sakura then. But I definitely think they could have gotten a consort wipe there, which again would have been huge here. On top of the T-7 losing consort there would be a significant blow. Does get the T-7 there, so at least there's that. And these two machines are being overwhelmed. Ultimately outmaneuvered, good flanking there by Barbarossa and the Red Army. Thumbs up. Maneuverability is always an important element. Machine reposition. Another T-70 for Barbarossa. Definitely feeling confident in the current timings and looking for like further, shall we say, extend the favorable position they currently are in by going for another T-70. And Sakura ain't enough going for another armoured car rather than trying to take up here. Also no doctrine. Honestly, at this point, yeah, I would recommend a Pentagon is skipping the armoured car instead, try and take up and then say push out some medium armour fast here versus Barbarossa. But getting the Panzer Squad, definitely a good idea. Still no doctrine though for Sakura. Definitely something I think they should strongly consider. As always, my rule of thumb is if you haven't chosen a doctrine by, say, the 20-minute mark, you may want to consider what you're doing with those doctrines in the first place if you can't make up your mind in 20 minutes. Because at that point, typically any, advantage anyways by waiting that long, like just being hesitant is completely gone. Like, sometimes there are advantages of waiting with your doctrinal picks, but 20 minutes, at that point, you're just handing your opponent an advantage by not going for one. Damaging the armoured car from the tank grenade. Very good. T-moving forwards. Still no tech, but at least we got the Panzergrenadier out here for the German army. The Großdeutschland Panzergrenadier Division. Machine wing westwards here to Great Western Fuel Point. We find here and there we got Panzer Truth Engineers. Their swap rifle doing a lot of damage. Oh, could get a wipe into emerges. Very nice. Thumbs up to the Barbarossa. Very good ability there. Bomb grenade popped. Ends up splitting up targets there. Still not bad there. Not bad at all. Until, of course, they got overwhelmed. Still no tech here. Again, should consider. Of course, Barbarossa at this stage should also consider strongly taking up soon. Field gun away here, though, for Barbarossa and the Red Army. This is 3 divisional field gun. Known as the Germans, unknown by the Germans, the Ratch Boom because of the sound it made. Got hit by the Pack 4 and the T-70. Ground Western Fuel Point there. Panzergrenadier sending out there for Sakura and Deutschland. At least bring up the eastern side. West side machine dealing with the T-70 light tank, tearing into the machine crew there with some high velocity, not high velocity, high impact for thunder fires, I could say there. Ooh, from Mother Russia, nice boost there. Next, Barbarossa much more lethal on the offensive. Thumbs up there. In fact, 2. Builds like this tend to get overlooked a lot by the average player, but again, they can really support a good attack or a good flank for that matter. They're also very nice defensively, to be honest. They're just really good abilities, but for some reason, again, because they're quiet timing, a lot of people just don't like using them. They got being hosed down though, while it does increase offensive firepower, Despite what the icon shows, it does make them harder to kill than it used to. Thankfully, we realised that was a bit of a bad idea, so yeah. Obviously, you can't just run about in the open, but again, a well-executed attack using abilities like this can be actually really, really powerful. Gotta wipe, in fact, Barbarossa's down to just 2 controls now. That is huge. If Sakura could just exploit this. And again, fuel pond then West being hit. Still no response there from Sakura once more. Finally getting some tech going there. Thumbs up. But this is definitely a dangerous situation for Barbarossa, down to just 2 control squads. And my rule of thumb, personally, is 3 infantry squads is like the minimum that can work. If you're down to 2, you're just not going to have enough infantry, like, you know, hold the map or support any attacks. It's too little. 3 squads is the minimum that can sort of work. 4, though, I'd say is like, you know, what you typically want. 5 is, you know, good if it really holds an aggressive play, but can be quite good. 6, you have to, like, have the skills to handle 6 in. Squads are fine. And 7, you have to... I would typically not recommend 7 squads, because at that point you need to be like a god with, like, micromanagement to make that work. It's not impossible, but you need to, like, be incredibly good. It's like not just start losing infantry in, like, droves. Counter that push back, but still need to get the fuel point. Tech almost done. Tech on the way there for Barbarossa, very good. Good thing having it with the T-70 light tank. The heavy cover though by the sandbags, of course, increasing the Grenadier's life expectancy drastically against the T-70 light tank. Thank you, sandbags, for saving our lives against the T-70. Oh, shite, it's gone, it's gone! Get out of here! Los, raus! I don't want to die like this! There go, almost swapped the Grenadier squad there. Right here by the field gun. Pack 4 moving eastward. See armor covering Russian as well. Ground western points here. Good. Armor coming in there. Pack 4 ready to fire away. And there go. Shoots. Misses the T-70 though. Into the pursuit to the base here. Gets the Grenadier wipe there. A painful blow here to Sakura, though. Still has more infantry here than Barbarossa. There go. Make sure the training to quickly move around and realizing the pack would pursue. Thumbs up there to Barbarossa. That's it. There's so much they can do, but again, you should make use of the train here. They quickly outmaneuver the pack 40. Of course, it's like waste time there, trying to catch up with the T-70. And then in the season, we just keep moving there. Then also note what he's doing is popping out to the reconnaissance mode. In part, just prevent the T-70 from firing, giving way to possible station here. But Armored Car still has a chance of taking out T, which does demand a bit. But I would say I think he handled that as best as he could with a T-70. Just not enough. Need to grab that western fuel point there, but still, that's 2 T-70s down here. Barbarossa on the hand is getting close to the KV-1 heavy tank. Field gun repositioning there. Maximum away there for Barbarossa. No shock troops, at least additional infantry. Shoot strongly, in my opinion, considering some replacement infantry soon here. And we do get a doctrine finally from Sakura. It is Lightning Wall with the Jaeger Light Infantry upgrade, Tactical Movement, Relief Infantry, Tiger Tanks, and the Stuka Close-Air Support ability. We're going to see what they do with that. Could be they're planning a Tiger Stall, though not a massive fan of that. Not a massive fan of that, in particular not considering the current circumstance, in particular with fuel control. I mean, not great there for Sakura, so going for the target is going to be much slower and more arduous here for Sakura. So not a massive fan of that one if that's what they're trying out. But again, no guarantee of that yet. We shall of course find out soonish enough. Mortar there for Sakura. A Granatenwerfer. Which means grenade thrower. It was even weird in World War I they called Minenwerfer or mine throwers. It's a fun fact there.
We have a mortar team available for deployment.
So there you go, mortar out here, and we got D for the fleet on the Panzer Grenadiers. Personally, not a huge fan of that. I know some people swear to the upgrade, but personally just see it as a downgrade on the Panzer Grenadiers. I personally see it as a downgrade. But again, that's just me. K1 heavy tank there for Barbarossa. That's going to require another Pack 40 no matter how we look at here for Sakura, since one Pack 40 was the K1 heavy tank is not going to suffice. I mean, Pack 40 still close air support, maybe, but not entirely sure I'm still a huge believer in that. But okay, there we go. So Pomacop, there's just not stalling for the Tiger Tank, at least that's very good. Thumbs up at least. Yeah, it comes here from Barbarossa. Very good, and then immediately shut down by the armored car. Very nice there. So Pomacop almost done. Sandbags in the center. Lots of sandbags in there from Barbarossa. Very good. Thumbs up. Also got the 2 conscripts upgrades to the man. We got smokes in here though from Sakura in the center. Could prepare for launching an attack, though not much of a follow-up then the smoke screen. K1 heavy tank has arrived by Barbarossa and the Red Army. In the west here we got the gunners with the advancing engineer squad. They are quickly pushed back since the minesweeper is not an assault weapon. K1 moves towards the center. Panzer 4 almost done. Field gun bombarding. We got 1 kill, halfway to Veteran G1. Panzer there firing away. K1 moving forwards. And there we go. Attack 40 number 2 on the way in response to the K1 heavy tank. So there you go. Panzer Kampfwagen 4. Workhorse of the German Panzerwaffe. Most produced tank action in the German army. Now, despite several attempts by Hitler to stop production of the Panzer IV, and in the end actually limiting production of how many Panzer IVs could be made in a month as the war went on. So, a few fun facts. The K1 moving forwards, their confidence suppressed, engaging into Pioneer squads to push for the eastern fuel point. If you get bait into the situation, just do a close head support, of course, could be a really good way of just quickly closing it out, but at the same time, pop it too early, and you just risk wasting the munitions and the air support, and doesn't even destroy the K1 there. So he needs to, like, bide his time and try and, like, get his opponent to, like, a position where the Stugers have as much time as possible, like, you know, get some hits in. Have on the flank hits, trying to sandwich the machine gun, very good there. We got 302 versus 384. I imagine Barbarossa, going for the B4 howitzer. That's going to be a bit of a mixed bag here of goodies for Sakura. Panzer gun moving forwards. Flanking the machine gun, pushing that back. B4 there, slowly getting ready. Panzer gun is moving ahead here. Field gun abandoning the Panzer gun at the ears. Mortal 1 kill, could be a bit further ahead here, I think. So right now Barbarossa is actually a bit more on the defense now versus Sakura. Sakura, of course, is getting a much more broader force composition. Of course, crucially, still has the influence advantage, though, of course, with another conscript finally on the way for Barbarossa. That's about to change. That and the B4 could, of course, also quickly change the arithmetic on infantries very rapidly if it gets off a good hit. Comes there finding the heavy covers crumbling away before their very eyes. There's the flanking, there you go, cover shattered, B4 ready to fire in a few moments. Just needs to find a target to shoot at. Of course, they may combine it with the recon overflight for as much accuracy as possible on it. Yes, Basil, there's still no Stugs. Punch was able there, Veteran 2, 7 kills. Yes, Basil, you're a pretty kitty. Very pretty. B4 shoots here and direct hit, almost taking out the entire gun squad on Ludwig, and I'm fairly certain Ludwig is pretty much deaf after that shot. Got lucky there that the entire gun squad wasn't wiped out. And that is incredibly lucky here for Sakura. That said, of course, the B4's not as a psychological element into the engagement as now Sakura constantly has to, like, you know, possibly, like, factor in the B4, like, you know, shooting at his force, you know, getting wipes here and there, so, like, he needs to, like, be much smarter about positioning. It's just the constant pressure, like, you know, waiting for the B4 to fire again, because the B4 does have a very low cooldown for, like, an on-map artillery piece that is no mortar. So there's a lot of pressure they can add that could also cause Sakura to make some mistakes. Never mind, if the B4 just gets one lucky shot off, Sakura could be in for a world of pain. Nice pack shot there. Second shot bounces. Air support called in here. Again, I feel like this is not the greatest one because it's fairly easy for Barbarossa to get out of that one unless he decides to stick around. Apparently he does. Bit of surprise there. Second Stuka can on the Fulton there. Almost taken out here, but he's going to get out of the active fight, at which point, you know, nothing happening there. Go B4 shoots. Ooh, that was a bit of a whiff there. A bit of a whiff. That is very lucky there for Sakura, and definitely a bit of a bother moment there for Barbarossa. There you go, Panther going for the B4. Didn't get to it in the Panther K1 wing in as well there, but it's heavily damaged already. Another shot going through there. Could go for another Panther 4, could consider Stugs. Of course, could also be there now, yeah, thinking about going for the Tiger tank, Tiga. Still no Stugs Basil now. I know it's disappointing. At least they got Panzer Grenadiers. Panzer Grenadiers engaging the counters there, tearing into them. Very fighting around here. West side is now seeing next in action. Barbarossa seems to have forgotten about it. It's also, I think, in part because of Sakura's attacks now, which is keeping Barbarossa's attention fixed on a more smaller frontage here, which causes script. But there you go. B4 shot here. The Grenadier squad wipes the Panzer Grenadier squad, though. That's it. That's a pretty damn good shot. That was quite the blow there to the Germans. Did just lose like an infantry squad. They lost their Panzer Grenadiers that have been upgraded and was heading towards Veteran in the 8th level. That's painful. That is definitely painful. That said, can Barbarossa actually exploit this wipe? Can they push ahead? Can they outmaneuver the Germans? Yes, Basil, you're a very lovely kitty. I'm sure the viewers all agree. Yes, Basil. B4 almost ready to fire again here. Packs there bunched up way too close to each other. That's definitely, I think, a mistake there by Sakura. Definitely a mistake. I can understand they want to concentrate firepower against any tanks, particularly the K1, but there's also really a fun invite just to get B4 shot, and that could absolutely cripple here Sakura at the worst possible moment. Machine getting hammered. B4 fires away there. They're well not entirely sure. Oh, again, really good target, but just the shot completely whiffed. Talk about luck there for Sakura and some really bad luck for Barbarossa, but again, that's kind of how it is with the B4. It's a very, you know, high variance weapon. Like, sometimes it just completely breaks your opponent, other times it's just completely useless. So that's a bit the, you know, the thing about the B4. Which is typically where mostly used in certain 2v2 maps, where the maps are suddenly narrow enough so accuracy doesn't matter as much, and again, it's just so many other players. On a map like this, the B4 can struggle a bit more to like get in some hits. But on the hand again, if it does hit, it's going to hurt, as we saw with that Panther squad. But now the B4's about to get knocked out here. 288 here versus 182. Tiger tank is almost within reach here for Sakura and the Groß Deutschland Panzergrenadier Division. So named because it recruited across most of Germany, rather than where most German divisions recruited from just one specific part of Germany. Specifically recruited from across the best units from Germany. It's like, you know, but just pick the best recruits. So, little fun fact there, little fun fact. Okay, one they're good to go. Another Panzer squad here for Sakura. Still very close to the Tiger tank. They got the manpower, they just need the fuel. And they can summon the mighty Tiger. B4 they're ready to fire again. Tiger tank available. Mortar then gaining the ace level. 14 kills. Really good work for that mortar, by the way. Thumbs up there to Sakura. Mortars are an excellent tool in particular for the Wehrmacht. Tiger tank does arrive. The Tiger. Adding the pinlight machine into that one. Very good there. 280 versus 174, going for less than quantity with the Maxim. B4 there remaining. Ooh, target on the K1 there, stunning the crew. Tiger tank pushing it, machine push off the western field point here. Field gun fires away at the Tiger tank, shot bounces. Technically, the assist gun could actually penetrate the Tiger tank in like closer ranges. Fun fact about the assist there. Issued a final way that B4 remains quiet. Sakura wants to put more pressure on the eastern side of the sea there. And Barbarossa really wants to fix up the K1 heavy tank before Sakura maybe goes for another push and possibly finishes off things. We've got air contact from Barbarossa. Very good. Issued fire with the halfway done. looking for the right target for the B4. Yes, he went for the Tiger tank, that's all. Panther 4 moves into a mine, trying to take out the B4, perhaps. No support for the Panther 4, that definitely a bit of a mistake. That was saved by Sakura. Get some hits in there, Tiger tank moving forwards, infantry backing up here. Defense using the Panther position for almost done here. Good job bunkering in the retreat path, gets that salute now. Tiger tank moving ahead here, B4 shoots and takes out the Panther 4, Pack 4 to get moving there as well. Tiger tank shoots, misses. More shots bouncing off the field guns, need to keep pushing. Forwards. But now we got the Ishifab and the anti-tank guns are on the move, but it's happening at a very slow pace. Tiger tank now being focused on here by Barbarossa. Anti-tank get off, damaging the engine. And suddenly the Tiger tank is caught in a really bad place in front of every third anti-tank weapon here. Ishifab against with the Pack 40s. But we got the B4 which could now possibly finish off the packs immediately here. And there you go, Tiger tank down. Sakura went from having, you know, armor dominance to, well, nothing. Now they have no armor. The opponent's got the K1 out there. They've, of course, backed up with the B4, making it harder here for Sakura to stop the armor now with the pack, since the B4 could theoretically land a really good hit. Infantry's ultimate riders. So right now, Barbarossa has a really lot of potential to possibly just win the match against Sakura, as against Sakura's no way of seriously stopping the K1 there. Plus, the Pack 4's been caught up in position, can't even set up to fire, and just risk getting outmaneuvered or overrun. The situation is pretty grim here for Sakura. B4 shoots, almost gets the heavy machine team there. Packs there in trouble. We got the armor coming in. That Panther got the flank pioneers trying against what the conscripts are going to focus on. The packs, there you go. One cleared out, all getting Molotov here. The situation is turning horrid for Sakura. And there you go. Target weak, quantum control being wiped out. Getting burned out there. Panther there suppressed for maximum control from 4 Battalion infantry for Barbarossa. With that, Sakura surrenders, the spirit broken by the Soviet sledgehammer. In the end, I feel like Sakura again should have relied more on maneuver at times, but also should have been more aggressive. Definitely Sakura at times I feel like just relied too much and just, you know, okay, I've got this, and you're not like trying to further extend the advantage against the opponent. Also could have benefited from mines at times. And, you know, probably should have just pushed for more medium armor rather than waiting for the Tiger tank, to be honest. Also should have made more of an effort to silence the B4, I think, sooner. So, there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. I've learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it, tell friends, tell family, but tell enemies. So this is Imperial signing off, and see you all another time for another video. Cheers.